nature.
It is
incredible,
magic.
right?
It just blows your mind how things have come to be.
These possums are about 7 weeks old. They came to the Cape Wildlife Center too small to survive in the wild. We meet Peggy, the possum lady, who specializes in raising these babies to get them ready for release.
They were, oh my goodness.
Fit in your
They
hand.
weren't even, they were 17 grams, maybe 2 months. Maybe, oh, they are
Oh
fat
my
little
I love
bears.
its little hands.
Aren't they amazing? They're just amazing.
Have you seen their back opposing thumb on their
No.
back feet? See the, can you see the hand? See the opposing thumb here?
Yeah.
No claw, and then 4 fingers. And one of the fun things to do with kids is to have a youngster draw around his hand, and then you draw around a possum's foot, and they're very, very similar. And these are, they're not supposed to look like this. They're pretty roly-poly. And their tail is their 5th leg. And one of the ways you can tell if a possum is strong and healthy is if he grips like that. If he slips through your finger and falls, there's something going on with him that's not good.
Will they be
And
released
midgets.
back in the wild?
Yes.
When does that typically happen?
I like to see them over a pound. I like to see them ideally 800, 900 grams makes me happy, because then they tend to be able not to become prey for bigger animals. They're big enough to take care of themselves. So that's, if we're not crowded, that's when I like to keep them until they're strong adults. We have a special protocol for an omnivore, which is a highly nutritional diet. They're 50-50. At this age, they're eating 50% cat food, which provides basic nutrients, and then the other 50% is made up of vegetables.
One of the
And
stars of our
plus
show,
fruit.
Norman, would love to hear that these cute possums share the same diet as him. 50% of the time.
After learning about possums, Lynn takes us to see an animal that many are familiar with at Thanksgiving.
Oh, what? Wait, so when you release them...
They go
around-
here.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
I love it. I mean, there's something really fascinating about a turkey, but we do have an adult upstairs, and it's a bit like handling a caged lion. You know, they don't want to be handled. If you think about it too, the only time a bird is ever handled is when somebody's going to eat it. So of course you're going to fight.
Sure,
And of
right.
course these are big birds. It's, you know, quite challenging to handle them. But at this age, and these ones know us, they know that people are okay at this stage. They're much easier. You end up just feeling so much affection for these animals too, and awe.
What does release look like for these animals? I know it might be different for
Well-
a lot, but is there like a general process?
Yes, we have to always think about if this animal is territorial, we need to get it back to its territory. And if it's not, where is the safest place for it to go? So we have to always think, also, has the finder got a stake in actually helping release it? There's so many factors that come into it. Then you have to think, is the weather going to be stable for about 3 days? And sometimes in summer with our, these flash storms coming through, it's a bit of a gamble. We also have to think about hunting season. And so, for
Wow.
instance, yes, sometimes it can be quite challenging.
Oh my gosh.
So we have to know all this stuff as rehabbers, but so we need to turn to biology and understand what's happening from a biological perspective. Then we make plans, no hunting, good weather, and of course on Cape here we have another wrinkle, and it's the tourist season. So we also have first week of September all these releases planned, and that takes planning. We also have to have location organized for those guys, permission to do so. We can't just go waltzing into somebody's property and say, here you go, 4 raccoons, be well. So we have to think about all those things as well and plan. So in fact, our Heather, who runs our volunteer program, sent out in the newspaper, in the volunteer newsletter yesterday, hey, anybody would like some raccoons or has a suitable place to release raccoons, that we can plan on doing that early in September. So all those things play into it. So we have a lot of fun thinking about all the logistics.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a puzzle. Wow.
It is.
But it's well calculated, and that's what's really interesting, that it's not, let me just release them. It's, I want to make sure they have the best success in the wild.
And that's what it's all about.
Release sure seems complicated, but it is great to know that the Cape Wildlife Center thinks of every little detail when preparing these animals for release back into the wild. Next, we're going to learn about medical care at the Cape Wildlife Center. You definitely don't want to miss this, so come check it out.